Hi, I'm Langdon from Massachusetts. Please like and subscribe. I was born 5 years after my parents got married, and Mom thought I was God's miracle and loved spoiling me. Dad always said I needed to grow up tough, but Mom couldn't care less. On my 4th birthday, she took me to an amazing toy store and said I could get whatever I wanted. As I was going through my presents at home, Dad walked in and nearly had a stroke. How many times do I have to tell you we don't have this kind of money to waste?
It's his special day, honey. Don't ruin it.
What is all this ridiculous stuff? Why did he need to buy a plastic flower? As Dad picked it up, water squirted out of it straight into his face.
He likes magic tricks and pranks.
Oh, does he? I didn't know we were raising a clown. I'm returning all of it. I felt so mad. And then suddenly, I felt my face do something funny. Are you making faces at me? I shook my head, but it happened again. My parents suddenly looked worried and took me to the doctor. After some tests, he explained that I had a facial twitch which could be triggered by any strong emotion. But it was nothing to worry about. But apparently Mom didn't hear the doctor right because she fussed over me even more. This didn't even change after my sisters, Rose, Orchid, and Lily were born. They were triplets but had nothing in common except one thing: their unconditional love for me. Once, in 10th grade, my parents had to go somewhere for a few hours and told me to keep an eye on my sisters. I had an online video game match, and I knew just what to do. Listen up, girls. We're gonna play a game of hide and seek. You hide, and I'll count till 50,000. Don't come out till I say so. The girls ran off to hide while I slipped inside my room for some video game time. I was so lost in it that I didn't realize the time till Dad barged into my room. Langdon? What? What happened? We just got robbed. What? No way. I was right here, alert, on my toes. With your headphones on? I swear, Langdon, sometimes I wish I'd given birth to a bicycle instead. It would have been more useful than you. You didn't lock the front door, and the robbers just walked in and took half our things. Wait, where are the girls? We rushed inside the girls' room to find them sleeping under the bed. Phew. They're safe. That's because I told them to hide. How could you be so stupid? We just lost stuff worth thousands of dollars. If you really think about it, Dad, it's good because now we can buy new things. Our old stuff was rotten, especially our TV. Dad looked ready to explode. Thankfully, Mom rescued me just in time. But after that day, he never trusted me with anything. It bothered me, but thank God Mom and the triplets worshipped me. Time passed, and in 12th grade, I joined the school football team. Without Dad knowing, of course. He was already unhappy with my grades, but football was my calling, and it was making me really popular too. I was standing by the lockers one day when the head cheerleader, Annie, walks right up to me.
Hey, Langdon.
Annie, hi. Hey, will you?
What?
It's Korean for how are you?
Oh, funny. I just came over to invite you to the Christmas party at my place tomorrow. I'd love it if the hottest new jock could come.
Really? Me? Wow, sounds mind-blowingly awesome. I mean, yeah, I'm cool. Count me in.
Awesome. Can't wait to see your handsome face.
I had a blast at the party, and I couldn't stop blushing when Annie introduced me as her new catch. Soon we became an official couple, and I was the happiest guy alive. A few days later, it was Dad's 40th birthday, and I wanted to do something nice for him. His car needed some repairs, so I took it to the mechanic to have it fixed and polished. But as I was driving back, I stopped by the bakery to pick up his cake, and that's when I heard a loud bang. I ran outside, and to my horror, I saw that Dad's car had slid down the sloping street and crashed straight into a truck. Oh my God! When Dad found out, he exploded like a pressure cooker. You, Langdon, you make me want to rip my hair out. My car is beyond repair. Do you think I just have money lying around to buy a new one? Dad, I'm so sorry. I got it fixed. For you. I guess I just forgot to put the brakes. You just forgot? How easy is it for you to say this every time? I've tried to make you more responsible, but I'm just done with you. I'm sending you to an army boarding school. Dad, no, I can't leave my football. I clapped my hand over my mouth as I realized I'd let it slip out. But Dad didn't even look shocked, just really disappointed. You think I don't know you sneak around and lie to me to play football? If you trusted me, I wouldn't have to. You should really come see me play sometime. Dad, I'm really good. I don't care, son. Your mom and I are leaving for your aunt's wedding tomorrow. But next week when I'm back, I'll ship you off. That's final. Dad didn't hear another word, and the next morning, my parents left.
I'm sorry, bro. Dad forced us to tell the truth.
It's okay. But now I need you guys to back me up. Dad needs to see I'm responsible. So we have new roles starting today. Rose, you're in charge of the dishes. Lily, I want you to make breakfast. And Orchid, you'll manage the laundry.
And you?
I'll supervise. That's the biggest responsibility. The next few days, everything went really smoothly. But then, one morning, my sisters woke me up screaming. What happened?
It's Mom and Dad. They're missing.
My sisters showed me the news, which said the plane they were on had disappeared. Search teams were trying hard to locate it. This can't be happening.
Oh my God, what will we do now? I can't breathe. She's having a panic attack.
She has panic attacks? Since when? We calmed her down and put her to bed, but I couldn't stop thinking how I never knew of Rose's panic attacks. I felt terrible. I stayed up all night reading the news about my parents, but it was the same. How was I supposed to make this work? What if they didn't come back? I didn't even hug them before they left. We stayed at home the next few days, waiting around for news of our parents, but none came. And when we returned to school, everyone was looking at us with pity.
Great. People are treating us like we're orphans already. Don't say that.
Just then, Annie appeared out of nowhere.
Aw, baby. Your sisters look terrible. How are you holding up? Better than your fake eyelashes.
Lily, behave. We're fine, babe. I tried calling you.
Yeah, you know I always have such a busy calendar, babe. But you are right here all the time. I'll see you around, Poochie Poo. Seriously, how do you tolerate her? She's more fake than Monopoly money.
I love her, okay? So you better get used to having her around.
No, I won't.
And after that day, Lily kept going from bad to worse. She would turn up late at home and get angry for the weirdest reasons. Whenever I asked her what was wrong, she said she was just fine. To make matters worse, we fell short of cash, so I had to work part-time as a mechanic. Things were tough. But thank God for Annie, or I would have gone crazy. One morning in school, Annie and I were sitting in the cafeteria when Lily walked up to us.
We need to talk, Langdon. Can't you see we're in the middle of a conversation? Take your middle somewhere else. I need to talk to my brother.
Lily, we can talk at home. Don't create a scene here, please. Everyone is staring.
Oh, so you're worried I'll spoil your precious reputation now? Don't you care about your family at all? Oh my God, you're so loud. Babe, tell her to leave.
Suddenly, Lily went crazy and emptied a can of yogurt on Annie's head.
There, enjoy your lunch.
What the heck, Lily? Annie, I'm so sorry. Annie stormed off, and I felt furious at Lily. The next evening when I returned from work, I went to her room to talk to Lily, but she wasn't there. She wasn't even answering her phone, and it was almost midnight. I informed the police, but they told me to wait for 24 hours. I was worried sick, so I rushed to Annie. Her dad worked with the government, so I was hoping she could help, but to my surprise, she was having a party, and I wasn't invited? As I looked around for her, I saw her in the corner with some random jock. What the heck? You're cheating on me?
Really, Langdon? You really thought after what your sister did, I'd still date you? Take a hint and get lost.
I felt stunned and angry, and my face started twitching. Annie just rolled her eyes.
Ugh, your face is doing its weird thing again, and you look super stupid.
And then she just started making out with him. I tried pulling her arm, but the guy with her pushed me away. I grabbed a glass near me to dump juice on him, but she pushed me, and the juice ended up all over her hair as she screamed. Lily was right. She was super fake. There was no way Annie was helping me now, so I left, only to find Lily in the parking lot. Do you know what time it is? I've been searching for you everywhere.
Now you found me, so leave. I have a party to attend.
You hate Annie. Why are you at her party? You're coming home with me.
Don't tell me what to do. You've always done whatever you want. But now that I have my freedom, you can't stand it? You're not my dad.
What's wrong with you? Have you forgotten I'm your older brother?
Older brothers are responsible, so don't call yourself that. Now move.
Her words felt like a slap in my face. I might be a brat, but I loved my sisters, and this made me feel defeated. I'd let my parents down. For the next few days, I was drowned in work. With my job and the school announcing the annual sports scholarship, I had no time to sit and sulk if I wanted to set a good example for my sisters. As for Lily, I asked Orchid to download Locatify on her phone without letting her know so I could keep an eye on her. One night, I was at the garage when I got a frantic call from Orchid.
Hurry, it's Rose. She had another panic attack, and she fainted.
We quickly took Rose to the hospital, but we couldn't get hold of Lily. I opened Locatify to track her, and it showed she was at school. What was this girl doing there at night? Doctors told us Rose was stable, but he wanted to keep her under observation for a few hours.
You go after Lily. I got this. Just be careful and don't beat yourself up. You're doing everything you can.
Thanks, Orchid. I quietly entered the school building, and it was pitch dark. Suddenly, I saw lights flicker from the school's main office, and Lily was leaving with a fat envelope. Lily?
Langdon? You scared me. Why are you here?
Wrong question. What are you doing here, and what's that?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Annie made me do it. She said if I stole this money for her, she'd get her dad to find information about mom and dad. I just felt so desperate, so I agreed.
You think I didn't try that? I already asked her 1,000 times, and she always said her dad's trying. But now I'm certain she never even asked him.
Oh god, I'm so stupid. That witch took advantage of me, probably just to punish me for being rude to her.
You should have just told me, Lily.
She warned me not to, or our deal was off. Also, I was so mad at you. I don't even know why. I'm such a mess.
No, you're not. You're just a kid, Lily, and everything going on with mom and dad is a lot to handle. Now, we're gonna put that money back and leave before we get caught. Or wait, I have a better idea. Annie had cheated on me and manipulated my sister. I wasn't gonna let her go this easy. We tiptoed our way to her locker and slid the money in. Next, we dropped an anonymous tip to the principal saying that Annie stole money from the school's trip fund. The plan was a success as the next morning, the entire school saw what a whack job Annie was when the principal opened her locker.
What? I didn't steal this. Lily did. Ask her. We found the money in your locker, Annie. There's enough proof to get you expelled. Call your dad. Now. No, please. He'll ground me for life. Please, I'll do anything. I'll clean the washrooms for a month. Just don't call my dad. He's already cut my allowance.
But of course, the principal did call him, and she was expelled. Good riddance. Girls, I know I've been an idiot in the past, but I promise I'll do better. You're the best sisters anyone could ask for.
What's that?
What?
You're getting emotional. Aww, such a cutie. You're not so bad either.
My finals came around the next week, and I actually managed to pass with decent grades. And I bagged a sports scholarship to college based on my football skills. One morning, when we were leaving for school, I saw a police van pull into our driveway, and my parents stepped out. Mom? Dad? Oh my god, you're back!
Oh, my babies. I thought I'd never see you again.
What happened? Where were you? How are you? Mom and Dad told us how their plane had to make an emergency landing in a forest with no connectivity, and it was only after weeks that the rescue team found them. Those were the worst weeks of our lives, not knowing if we'll ever see you again. But Langdon, I'm so proud of you, son. You did a fine job. And nothing's stolen, it seems. I'm so sorry, Dad. I never knew your struggles till I was knee-deep in mine. I'll be better, and I love you. I love you too, son. And I think I'd like to see you play football sometime. Really? So that means no boarding school? Don't answer that. I'm just happy you're here. Family really is everything.
Hi, I'm Toby from Chicago. Please, like and subscribe. I was born to the kindest people you'll ever meet. My dad owned a giant tech company, and we were wealthy, but my parents were always caring and generous, and taught me to be the same. When I was in the first grade, my parents took me to an amusement park for my birthday, and as we were leaving, I suddenly spotted a boy crying behind a bench. I realized it was Nathan from my class. He was a giant bully. But I couldn't just leave him there. Hey, Nathan, are you lost? Let me help you. My parents and I searched for his parents all over the giant park and finally found them after 2 hours. And it turned out that Nathan's dad was my dad's biggest business rival. His parents didn't even thank us and just took him away. Rude. I thought after what happened though, maybe Nathan and I could be friends. But the next day at school, I was walking down the hallway when he suddenly pinned me against the wall. If you tell anyone you saw me crying, I will deal with you. Do you get me? I won't. But how about you stop being a jerk to me? Why? I still don't like your face. He pulled my bag and threw it across the hall, sending my things flying everywhere as he laughed and ran away. And things never got better. He kept being a jerk, and my revenge was beating him in both studies and sports. And everyone else at school really liked me, but I always tried to be kind and helpful. Once in 8th grade, I was helping our driver wash the cars when I noticed something heartbreaking at the gate. It was a girl my age, searching the trash for food. I walked up to her, but suddenly she dashed away like a cheetah. Oh, wait, come back! I don't want to hurt you! But she was so fast, I couldn't keep up. We have lots of food in the house, even cakes. I'll get you some. She stopped immediately, then slowly walked back to me.
Cakes?
When I told my parents about her, they immediately invited her for lunch. Her name was Jessica, and she gobbled down her food like she hadn't eaten in weeks. Jessica started coming to our house every day after that. She never talked about her family, and whenever I asked, she got moody, so I dropped it. One day, we were having lunch when we heard a loud knock on the door, and seconds later, a huge man barged into the dining room. Jessica, it's time to go home. Hey, I don't know who you are, but it looks like she doesn't want to go with you. I'm her father, and I don't need your charity. Stay away from my child. Jessica, we're leaving, now! She crept out and he led her away, and she didn't come again. My parents and I were really upset, and we contacted Child Services to try to track Jessica down. And it turned out that her father was a wanted criminal. He was arrested soon after that and was sent to jail, while Jessica ended up with some nice foster parents, who even enrolled her in my school. Hey, I'm really sorry about your dad.
It's okay. I don't really miss him. He wasn't very nice. He often forgot to get me food and made me leave school because he was on the run.
That's awful, but it's all in the past now.
Yeah, and I wanted to stay there. I don't ever want to talk about it again.
Pinky swear, we won't talk about it again. I wanted to give Jessica a present for her first day at my school, so I asked my mom to take me to the mall. And I picked out a beautiful red sweater for her, and I waited for her at the school gate. She was late, and I was beginning to panic. What if she decided she didn't want to go to school anymore? But thankfully, she showed up.
You thought I changed my mind, right?
Yeah, you had me a bit worried. Here, I got you something.
Oh, it's so pretty. And red's my favorite color. Thank you.
She hugged me, and I felt a million butterflies in my stomach. Whoa, who's this, babe? And why are you hugging that cockroach, babe? I was about to tell Nathan off, but Jessica spoke up first.
I don't know who you are, jerk, but don't talk to us again. Come on, Toby. Let's go.
Jessica fit in easily and was making new friends in no time. I was a little jealous that I didn't have her all to myself, but I was glad she was enjoying school.
Guess what I did today? I joined the track team.
That's awesome. I'm sure you'll beat everyone. I'm still trying to catch my breath from the first time I chased you.
The secret to slowing me down is to say, hey, I got cakes. I'll probably stop running and follow that person.
Having Jessica around was a dream come true, and I was just falling more in love with her. One day after school, I was looking for Jessica when I found her in the hallway with Nathan. Hey, is he bothering you? Nathan, just back off!
Whoa, calm down. He's part of the track team, and we're going to an event together.
I pulled her away to speak privately. That's Nathan. He's been a jerk to me since we were kids.
But he's my teammate, Toby. And actually, he's not that bad.
Come on, Jessica. We're running out of time. Get it? Jessica laughed out loud and walked away with him. What? It was a terrible joke. But from that day on, Nathan was always around Jessica, and it burnt my heart. Jessica was so good on the track that she was winning medals in no time. She became really popular and was always hanging out with the cool kids now. But one night in the 10th grade, I was studying for a test when she crept through my window.
Hey, Toby, I missed you.
Really? You bailed on our plans like 100 times.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So, listen, Nathan took me out for a drive, and I completely forgot about this big math test tomorrow. Will you help me, please?
Okay. I'm studying right now, so pull up a chair.
Oh, not right now. I mean, can you help me during the test tomorrow?
You mean cheat? You know I never do that.
But I'm going to fail, Toby.
Yeah, well, that happens when you hang out with people like Nathan. Keep doing that and he'll ruin you.
If you can't help me, at least don't give me a lecture. Thanks for nothing. I'm sure Nathan will think of something.
And with that, she left. And the next day, I spotted a shy girl in our class, passing cheat sheets to Jessica and Nathan during the test. So that was Nathan's solution? Bullying other kids to help them cheat? But just then, the teacher caught the girl and took her off to the principal. And moments later, Nathan and Jessica were called out too, and then suspended for a week. I really hoped that Jessica had learned her lesson. But a week later, I found her and Nathan cornering the shy girl in the hallway. You're supposed to be one of the smartest girls in class, so how come you're so stupid? You ratted us out to the principal. You know what we do to snitches?
And can you stop crying? You got snot on your face, and it's gross.
What the heck? Jessica was a bully now? Jessica, what's wrong with you? Knock it off and leave her alone. Mind your business, nerd. I wasn't talking to you, jerk. Well, you're talking to my fist now. And then, Nathan punched me. I tackled him to the ground, and we both wrestled like crazy until some teachers stopped us. And for the first time ever, I landed in detention. Jessica tried to talk to me, but I just walked past her. I completely avoided her for the next few days. But then one evening, the police arrived at our house with some news of her dad. He was really sick and was being transferred to another city for treatment right away. And he wanted to meet Jessica before he left. She wasn't answering my calls. And when I went to her house, her foster parents told me she was at Nathan's place for a party. Great. It was the last place I wanted to go, but I had to tell her. As I looked around for her, my heart suddenly dropped to my stomach. Jessica was in the corner with her arms around Nathan. Then she kissed him. Jessica, I need to talk to you. It's urgent. What are you doing here, man? You're not welcome in my house. It's not like I want to be here. Jessica, listen. I'm gonna call security.
Toby, can you please leave? I don't want you creating a scene in front of my friends.
She started walking away and suddenly felt a wave of rage. Is that all you care about now? I thought you'd like to know that your dad is sick and he wants you to see him before he's shifted to another prison. The loud music suddenly died as I shouted, and everyone stared at us. What? Your dad's in prison? You're some criminal's daughter? Jessica burst into tears as she ran out. Jessica, please stop. I'm sorry. She suddenly turned around and pushed me so hard I fell to the ground.
It's the one thing I ever asked you, Toby. I said I never wanted to talk about my dad, and you decided to announce it?
I didn't mean to, but I had to tell you about him, and you wouldn't listen.
I think you can't stand that I have other friends, and you just wanted to ruin that. Do you think I should be eternally grateful to you and not have a life of my own because you saved me from a dumpster?
Jessica.
Just leave me alone.
The next day at school, everyone had heard about her dad, and her friends had dropped her like a dead fly. I tried sitting next to her at lunch, but she immediately walked away. But later that day, I saw Nathan and her holding hands, and she didn't look so sad anymore. I stayed away from them and tried to focus on schoolwork. Dad asked me to start coming into his office after school to learn more about our business, and I was happy to keep myself busy. Our tech company was launching new gadgets soon, and I was quite excited to be a part of it. But a few weeks later, I woke up to really loud voices downstairs, and I went running. I found my parents watching the news, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Nathan's dad was on TV, introducing a prototype of the gadget our company had been working on. I just don't understand how our plans were leaked. My office is secure, and my home study is always locked. I just can't believe anyone working for me would betray me. This is terrible news. All our investors will be furious, and our company is going to take a huge hit. And it did. The company suffered huge losses, and there was no way to prove the theft. I went to school a week after the whole disaster, and I couldn't bear to even look at Nathan. His dad was a crook. But later that day, I was going to sit on the bleachers when I spotted Jessica yelling at him.
How could you do this? You told me those files were about some small project Toby was working on, and you'd mess up the plans to embarrass him in front of his dad. You never said it was something that could bring his parents' company down.
Okay, I lied. Boo-hoo. I didn't make you do anything. You got those files from me and then put them back. Remember? I was angry. I only wanted to humiliate Toby. You went too far, and I thought you loved me. It's not my fault you're stupid. You really thought I loved you? Daughter of a felon? Jessica, you did this? I couldn't believe it. The girl I loved was responsible for our ruin.
Toby, Please wait. He lied to me. I didn't know what he was doing. I just wanted to mess with you because I was upset. I'd never hurt your parents.
Don't ever speak to me again. All I've done since I met you is love you, and you stabbed me in the back.
Wait, you love me?
Not anymore. Now I wish I'd never met you. The next few days at school, she didn't show up, and I didn't care. One day I was in my room when Mom came in.
Honey, we went to Jessica's foster home, and they told us she ran away. I'm so sorry.
Whatever. Good riddance.
Toby, that's unkind.
Mom, you still think she deserves kindness? After what she did?
I'm sure she got manipulated by that boy. Remember? She had a rough past, and maybe she was just trying to fit in and be loved. I know what she did was awful, but she was a good girl, and I hope she's okay.
Mom's attitude made me feel ashamed of myself, and I soon started regretting the things I said. But I couldn't take it back because Jessica had vanished. But in a shocking turn of events, an employee from Nathan's dad's company came forward with proof that the product had been stolen from us. They had to pay millions in damages, while his dad served time in prison. The family moved away, and I never saw Nathan again. High school passed fast enough, and after graduating from university, I joined Dad's company and helped build it to newer heights. But one day, I was at a shopping mall when I caught sight of a girl who looked like Jessica. My heart was pounding as I ran after her. But by the time I got outside, she was nowhere to be seen.
Toby, is that you?
Oh my God, Jessica, I've always wondered what I'd do if I ever saw you again. I don't even know what to say, except that I'm so happy you're okay.
Toby, I've thought of this meeting a million times too, and I really need to say that I'm so sorry. I was so stupid, and I knew even then that you'd never hurt me on purpose. But I ended up hurting you and your family so much. I left because I couldn't face you guys anymore. Please say you'll forgive me.
I hugged her, and we sat on a bench and talked. After she'd ran away, she ended up in a foster home again, and then got adopted by some really nice people. And I was so glad her life hadn't been miserable. As I loaded her groceries in her car, I spotted something in her back seat. It was the red sweater I'd given her in the 8th grade. Jessica, do you think I can call you sometime and ask you out on a date? I wanted to since forever.
You can ask me right now, and my answer is yes.
Hi, I'm Milo. Please, like and subscribe, because my story animated will give $1,000 to one lucky person in the coming 7 days. When I was 4 years old, all I wanted was a huge family. Dad, why don't I have a mom? All my friends have moms, brothers, sisters. How dare you say that to me? Am I not enough for you? Just go away. My dad was always like this, angry and irritated. He never got along with anyone. And he got fired from every single job he took. We were so poor that he pushed me to school in a stolen shopping cart. No way we could afford a car. When I was in the 10th grade, Dad came home with a crazy surprise. A baby sister from one of his girlfriends. I was over the moon. He didn't even bother naming her. So I did it. I'll call you Annie. Isn't it a cute name, Dad? He didn't care. He was too worried about how we were gonna have enough money to raise a baby. Since he couldn't hold a job, he had to borrow money from a local billionaire. Only problem? My dad took the money and ran. He just left me and Annie alone. The billionaire was furious when I told him we couldn't pay him back. I gave him thousands of dollars. I'll have to call the police, and you two will be sent to foster homes. No way, they'll separate me from my sister. Please don't call the police. I can pay you back. I can work for you. You're only a stupid boy. What will you do? I'll clean the pool, do the dishes, mow the lawn. You can slowly take your money out of my paychecks. Please, just give me a chance. It actually worked. The billionaire let me work for him in exchange for a small salary and a place to live in his pool house. This pool house was way bigger than any apartment I'd ever lived in, so I was thrilled. I went to school every morning with Annie strapped to my chest and worked at the mansion all evening. Everything was going well until one night, when I was just about to sleep, someone started screaming outside. Papa, I'm scared. Stay here, sweetheart. I've got this. I ran out to see a strange, beautiful girl jumping into the pool.
Woohoo! Cannonball!
Intruder! Intruder! Someone's breaking in!
Wow, you're cute. Wanna jump in?
I pulled the pool cover over her head to trap her.
Ah! What are you doing?
I'm keeping you here while I call the cops.
Stop it! I'm Zoe! This is my house!
Liar! I've never seen you here.
That's because I just moved back in with my dad, you idiot! I lived with my mom before. Now get me out of here before I get you fired!
She crawled out of the pool angrily and showed me pictures of her phone with the billionaire.
Believe me now, pool boy?
My name's Milo.
I don't need to know your name if you don't work here anymore.
I'm sorry, I just never seen you before. Please don't tell your dad about this. I need this job. I'll do anything. She got so close that I thought she was gonna kiss me, but she said,
Anything?
Sure. What do you want? Apparently a lot. Zoe was wild. She partied a lot and stayed out late every day. I had to help her sneak back in each time. One time, she had a huge fight with her dad and ran away to spend the night with her mom. I had to lie in her bed and pretend to be her. So embarrassing. I did all of it for my sister, but as she got older, her needs started changing. Baba, when can I go to school like you? I want to play with the other kids. That made my heart sink. I didn't have enough money to pay for school, but I wanted to give my sister the whole world. I decided to ask the billionaire for a loan, and he said he'd think about it. But little did I know that Zoe was gonna wreck everything. It was a night like any other. She was sneaking back into the mansion at 3 a.m. and I was pushing her through the window when suddenly she fell right on top of their super expensive television. The screen shattered to pieces. Thankfully, Zoe wasn't hurt, but her dad was really mad. Who did this? Who?
Milo was cleaning and he slipped.
I could barely protest before the billionaire lost it. Do you have any idea how much this costs? There's no way I'm giving you a loan now.
What? Wait, what loan?
Please, sir, that money is for my sister. She can't go to school without it. No way. Figure it out yourself. I was so mad. I just stormed out of there and locked myself in the pool house. Minutes later, there was a knock on the door. It was Zoe. What are you doing here? Won't you be satisfied till you ruined my whole life?
I didn't know about your sister or all these problems.
Why should I tell you? You're just some rich girl who decided to make my life miserable. Please, just leave me alone. I slammed the door shut and stormed back in. If she wanted to have me fired, so be it. I avoided her completely. I just went to school and did my work like I used to. I applied for a few extra jobs to do over the weekend. I had to send Annie to school, somehow. It all changed when Zoe showed up at the pool house one night.
Please, don't shut the door. I'm sorry I acted like such a jerk. I brought you something.
She handed me a whole stack of money.
It's my pocket money. Dad tries to buy my love with cash. That should be enough for your sister's school.
I was numb with shock. I can't keep this.
You better, pool boy. I saved up all month for you.
No, take it back.
You can't make me.
She just turned and ran.
Use the money. Thank me later.
This girl was crazy. With her help, I was able to afford a decent preschool for Annie. I didn't have to get a second job, so I had free time to study. I even tried out for the school swim team, and I was so shocked to see I was the fastest kid there. I got in right away. Things at home were the easiest they've ever been. Zoe didn't ask me to help her when she was sneaking in anymore. She even babysat Annie while I was busy. One time, I came home to see Annie and Zoe wearing matching dresses. Zoe had shopped for her. I don't get it. Why are you being so nice to us?
I'm making up for being a jerk.
You don't need to spend so much money. You're already forgiven.
Hey, I like Annie. She's super cute and funny. I'm not just doing it for you.
Still, I have to give you something in return.
Okay then, go out on a date with me.
What?
You're sweet, caring, and kind of adorable. I like you. What do you think of me?
I was shocked. How could an heiress want to date someone like me? Before I could say a word, I heard a shout behind us. What did you just say, Zoe? It was her dad. Did you just tell the pool boy you like him?
His name is Milo.
Who cares? You're not dating some poor beggar. Wait, is this why you've been asking me for extra pocket money? Have you been spending it on these too? He turned purple with rage and marched into the pool house. He started throwing all my things around. Where's all the cash? Where did you hide it? Give it back to me! Stop it! I grabbed him and tried to pull him back, and he shoved me away. Your sister is wearing a new dress. Did you get Zoe to buy that for you? You pathetic thief! He stormed towards my sister, and I lost it. I tackled him and threw him into the pool. How dare you charge at my sister? I'm gonna kick your butt! Just then, Annie started crying loudly, and in an instant, all my anger suddenly melted away. I grabbed her and marched into my house to pack all my things. I couldn't live with this monster anymore. I'm quitting. Don't you dare quit! You still owe me money. Then call the police. I don't care. I'm leaving.
Yeah, clean your own pool.
I took Annie and got the heck out of there. I called up my swimming coach and explained my situation to him. Thankfully, he and his wife let us live with them for a while. I tried to focus on getting a new job, but I couldn't stop thinking about Zoe. I called her many times since that day, but she never picked up. I had no idea how much trouble she was in. Annie missed her all the time, too. I thought I'd never see her again, until the day of a very important swimming match. All the schools were competing, and our biggest donors were coming to watch. I was so focused on the match that I didn't see all the missed calls on my phone from Annie's school. I swam my heart out and won first place. After the award ceremony, I checked my phone and nearly had a stroke. Annie was sick. Her school had gone crazy calling me to take her home. I literally flew out of there and dashed off to her school, ready for the worst. But I found her playing games on the grass. Bubba, look who I called. Zoe was behind her, giving me the cheekiest grin. I couldn't believe it.
Don't worry, Annie's fine. She just ate some bad food. I threw up on my teacher.
I gave Annie a tight hug, and she gasped.
Bubba, you won gold.
That doesn't matter. How do you feel now?
I feel perfect because Bubba wins. Yay! I knew you're the best.
I turned around to thank Zoe, but saw her leaving. I grabbed her arm and pulled her back. No way you're leaving just like that. We haven't spoken in months. What's going on with you? Zoe revealed how her dad had become super strict since the incident. He never let her go out anymore, and she could only sneak away when he was busy at work. And he was setting her up with some rich boy to marry him. That's crazy. We're just kids.
He thinks I need to be kept under control. I wish I could leave, but he has full custody.
Then you should take him to court again. You need to stand up to him. If you want to be with your mom, fight for it. She knew I was right. She convinced her mom to call their lawyer, but she was scared of moving her stuff out of the house. I decided to help her and went to her mansion together. Her father had a total fit when he saw us. He tried to stop Zoe from packing, but I stood in between them like a wall. Move, or I will punch you. Why don't you try, old man? I'll knock you out right now. I'm calling the police. I have full custody, and Zoe cannot leave without my permission.
Fine, do it. Mom's already talking to her lawyer, and she's gonna fight for me. And she will win after I tell the court everything you put me through. Just back off!
She pushed him away, and we all stormed out. Her father kept screaming behind us, but we didn't care. When I finally got her to her mom's house, Zoe was literally jumping with joy. We could finally live our lives the way we wanted, and Zoe's dad tried to wreck that many times. He kept calling us for days till we had to block him. Then, he filed a police complaint against me, saying I robbed him and kidnapped Zoe. I was in jail for 2 whole days while the police investigated the matter. This was so crazy. They just believed his lies. Until Zoe showed up, she told the cops the whole truth. She wasn't kidnapped, I didn't steal, and her father was a lying jerk. They had no choice but to let me go. I wanted to make a graceful exit, but Annie turned to the billionaire and said,
Ha! Chew on that!
I was screaming from happiness outside. Thank you so much. You saved my butt.
She was so cool, wasn't she, Bubba?
The coolest. Suddenly, Zoe threw her arms around me, and to my shock, she kissed me right on the lips. I was so shocked.
Aw, that was so cute! Kiss again!
Shut up, Annie.
Kiss, kiss, kiss! Sorry, I couldn't help it. I was so worried about you. And I'm sorry about this whole mess, and
I leaned in and kissed her. It was a quick peck on the lips, but she turned red.
You kissed me!
I'll do it again. I pulled her to me and gave her another kiss. It was perfect. Hi there, my name is Tom, and I was just 3 years old when my mom left my dad. He was a major jerk, and she was so much happier without him. The only problem was that we were broke. My mom worked 2 jobs at once, but that wasn't enough for school, clothes, books, rent. The list was endless. I wanted to help my mom so badly that when I was 6, I tried to get a job at McDonald's. All the adults laughed at my application form. It was filled out with crayon. I was so mad. I wanted to be a grown-up. When Mom found out, she said, Tom, the best way to help me is by doing well at school. You don't need to get a job. Oh, you're so cute. From that day, I started paying really close attention at school. I worked hard at getting the best grades, and by the time I was 12, I was topping the district. That's how I got into the richest, snobbiest school in town. They found me and offered me a full scholarship if I transferred right away. I didn't want to leave my friends, but free school was too much to give up. So I started going to the rich side of town. Everything was different here. The roads were cleaner, the houses were bigger, and the people were meaner. The meanest of them all was Blake. His father owned the school, and he did whatever he liked. My first day, I saw him push a kid off his bike for no reason. Hey, stop that! I rushed to help the kid up and told Blake to back off. You must be new. Do you have any idea who I am? A massive jerk? The people watching laughed, and Blake turned beet red. I'm your worst nightmare. He meant it. He tried to bully me every single day for 4 years. He called me names, stole my books, and spread false rumors about me. One day, he pulled the fire alarm and told the teacher I did it. Obviously, they believed him over me. I got a whole week of detention. Didn't have time for this mess. I had to study hard all day. And now that I was older, I helped my mom by doing a job at night. We were so poor compared to everyone at school, and I did my best to hide it. I lied to everyone when they asked me what my parents do. They sell computers. They're super rich. I made sure I got the best clothes from the donation boxes in town and checked them for any imperfections. One time, I missed a tear on my coat, and Blake caught it right away. Torn clothes? How pathetic. Are you too poor to afford basic things? No one laughed with him. You see, other people in school really started to like me over the years. I was funny, friendly, and I didn't bully them. Blake hated this. To top it all off, I beat his grades every single time. The day the school was honoring its toppers, all hell broke loose. This loser cannot win first place! He's a cheater! Excuse me? I beat you fair and square! Blake ran over to me and tried to yank my medal off my neck. Give it to me! Give it! No! I shoved Blake away from me and he fell back. Everyone laughed and he began to yell loudly. Ah! He hurt me! I sprained my leg! Ah! He was good at putting on a show. The teachers dragged us to the principal's office, and I got the worst yelling of my life. I want him out of this school, Dad. Tom is our best student. We can't get rid of him. How dare you hit my son? Blake attacked me first! So what? You should never hit back. You hurt him. He's faking it! He just wants me to get into trouble. You're both in trouble. 1 whole week of detention, and you both have to show the new students around the school. Our school was huge, and new people had to have guides for their first week. I really didn't want to babysit with Blake, but I had no choice. We both met the new student the next day, and wow, she was stunning. She had the most beautiful brown eyes I've ever seen. The moment Blake saw her, he turned to me. You can go. I can help her alone. I won't tell the teachers. No way! You're a snake! Look, that's Lisa. I've known her since we were kids, and her dad is even richer than mine. I want to date her, so just go away! Obviously, I didn't go away. Instead, I raced up to Lisa first and gave her my best smile. I never really flirted with a girl before, but I gave it my best shot. Hi, I'm Tom. You're cute. Do you, like tacos? Yes. I love tacos. Would you like to eat some with me after school? Okay. Why not? You're pretty cute too. Blake literally jumped in between us. Lisa, remember me? Blake? Our dads are in the same country club. Kind of. Do you want to go with me? Tonight? I'll take you somewhere fancy. Sorry, I'm getting tacos with Tom today. His expression was priceless. That's what he gets for messing with me. Lisa and I went out, and I had a surprisingly good time. She was so goofy and hilarious. Some of her jokes made me choke with laughter. Wow, I'm actually having fun. I'm glad I messed with Blake. What? Oh, Blake has a crush on you, and he's been kind of a jerk to me, so I asked you out first. What? I thought you thought I was cute. Uh-oh. I do think you're cute, but what? I'm just a pawn in your boy games? You just used me to mess with someone. You're a jerk. She threw her taco at me and ran away. I quickly paid the taco guy and chased after her, but she was gone. Dang it. Blake was turning me into a terrible person. I tried to apologize to Lisa the next day, but she wouldn't even look at me. I almost gave up until one day, when we ended up in the same elevator together. I acted on instinct. I pressed the stop button. What are you doing? I want to apologize, but you keep running away. Don't bother. I'm never gonna go out with you again. I don't want you to go out with me. I'm just sorry. I act like a complete idiot, and you have every right to hate me. She looked shocked. Really? You mean that? Yes. I'm really sorry. I was so stupid. Agreed. You'll have to buy me like 100 tacos to make up for it. Does that mean we can be friends? Yeah. Okay. I forgive you. Yes! All 100 tacos were worth it because Lisa was amazing. She was kind, funny, and most importantly, she was a really good friend. She was always there to help her friends with their troubles, and I felt like I could tell her almost anything. Almost. One day, Lisa asked me what my parents did for a living, and I felt real fear. If she finds out I'm poor, she won't like me. I lied quickly, hoping this would go away. But one day, Lisa wanted to walk me home, and I was trapped. I had to take her to a random mansion and pretend it was mine. I went inside and hid in the bushes till she went away. If that wasn't crazy enough, one night, she walked into the restaurant where I worked. The moment I saw her, I ducked and hid under a table. The manager called for me like 10 times, but I just couldn't make myself get out. Why was I going so crazy over this girl? Suddenly, 3 pairs of legs joined me under the table. My manager had seated women there. I immediately crawled out of the table and all 3 women screamed, sending their food flying all over the floor. My manager caught me by the collar and fired me on the spot. If I wasn't horrified enough, I turned to see Lisa staring at me with her mouth open. Oh no. I just ran home. By the time Lisa confronted me in school, I had a lie ready for her. I got that job so I could learn some responsibility. It's not good to just live off my parents. But why were you under the table? I dropped my phone. I was looking for it. Somehow, the lie worked. And Lisa gave me a big hug to comfort me. Ew, I was close. I was heading home from school that day when I felt someone pull me back. It was Blake. Why were you hugging Lisa at school? None of your business, moron! Didn't I tell you I like her? You better back off before I make you pay. Make me pay? Your dad can't kick me out of school. You have no power here. I stormed away from him with my head held high, thinking I'd won this battle. I had no idea how far Blake would go for a shot at Lisa. She and I were having lunch in the cafeteria one day when Blake came over with his gang. Hey, Tom, your parents are rich, right? Yes. They sell computers. Then why are you wearing clothes that I threw in the garbage? I was in shock. Blake pulled out his phone and played a video for everyone. It was me, searching for clothes in the donation bins. We saw you hunting for clothes like a cheap beggar. We followed you, and you live in a tiny apartment on the bad side of town. Everyone around me was whispering. I couldn't even bear to look up at Lisa. My secret was finally out. So, what do your parents really do? Do they even have a job? Or are they pathetic like you? I couldn't take it anymore. I got off my feet and punched Blake right in the face in front of everyone. I just lost it. Ah! I'm reporting you to my dad. Everyone saw that, right? He punched me! I was suspended for 2 weeks after that, which was just fine with me. Felt like my life was over. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to study. And I didn't want to see anyone. I turned my phone off so none of my friends could reach me. I was locked in my room for a whole week until one day, there was a knock on my door. Lisa was here. She saw me in my tiny apartment. I was wearing old, faded hand-me-downs. What are you doing here? How did you find me? I can track people. Why didn't you answer my calls? I was worried. Maybe I'm embarrassed, and I want to be alone. You shouldn't be embarrassed for being poor. You should be embarrassed for lying to me about it. Oh, I should have told you the truth, that my mom's a waitress and a janitor, that my dad abandoned us, and we live like beggars. Which part makes you want to go out with me? She looked shell-shocked. Wait, you want to go out with me? I never said that. Just leave me alone. Lisa, I went into my room and slammed the door shut. I wanted to be anyone else except me right now. It got so much worse when I opened Instagram and saw pictures of Blake and Lisa together. I guess she found someone who can take care of her the way she deserved. I was in the worst mood of my life when I started school again. Lisa tried to talk to me a few times, but I just ran away from her. I thought I could just avoid her forever. Until one day, we ended up on the same elevator, alone. She punched the stop button, and the elevator came to a halt. How long are you going to ignore me, Tom? You're driving me crazy! I don't want to talk to you about my lies. I don't want to hear about your dates with Blake. We're not dating, you idiot! I only clicked those selfies because he literally begged me. I like you. It took me a few seconds to get that. You like me? Are you blind? I've liked you since the first day we met. It doesn't matter. We can't be together, Lisa. I'm poorer than your gardeners. I have nothing to offer you. You have everything to offer me. You're a good friend. You're an amazing son. You're clever and you're handsome. I was speechless. Lisa grabbed my collar and gave me a full peck on the lips. Hi, I'm Jasper from Colorado. Please, like and subscribe. I was born in a rich household and lived in a huge mansion with tons of servants. My nursery was filled with more things than any kid could possibly need. But I didn't have a mom, and my dad was always working really hard and didn't have much time for me. Once when I was 5, I was playing football with my nanny, and I kicked the ball hard, making it fly through the window into Dad's home office. I ran inside to get it. Hey, Dad, come on, let's play football, please? Where is your nanny? Here you are. Is this what I'm paying you for? Your job is to keep him busy and not annoy me. Dad was the worst. That night, I decided to run away, but just when I was at the door, someone pulled me back by the shoulder. It was Dad. Where do you think you're going? To find a new family. I don't want to live with you. You're mean and grumpy and don't love me. He just looked at me and shook his head, then took me to my bedroom. It was probably the first time he'd ever tucked me into bed, but the next day, he was the same, never having any time for me. For my 9th birthday, I expected he'd be home, but once again he was away for some business meeting. Master Jasper, your father has sent you this present and has instructed us to wish you a very happy birthday. Can you please clear everything away? I'm not hungry. But the cook spent hours making this cake for you, sir. I looked at the cook's face and couldn't bear to disappoint her. Of course I'll cut the cake. It looks amazing, but I don't want the present. Closing my eyes, I made the same wish I made each year on my birthday. But this time, I really meant it. God, please send my mom back to me. Please, please, please. Come on now. Everyone say amen. Amen. The next morning, I woke up to someone's loud voice downstairs, and I found a strange woman in our house, dressed in weird clothes. Oh my God. Richard, darling, you never told me you're such a rich man. Look at the furniture, the chandelier, everything. And who's this handsome fella? Let me guess. You're Jasper, aren't you? Yeah. And you are? I'm Linda, No, wait, I want you to guess. I don't know, my new nanny? Listen, Dad, I don't need a nanny anymore. I'm grown up now. No, dummy, I'm your new mommy. No one's ever too grown up to have a mommy. Your dad and I got married yesterday, and here I am. The woman hugged me so tight, I felt like she'd squeeze the air out of me. Dad got married without even telling me? Sure, I wanted a mom, but this wasn't what I expected. Soon, my friends in school found out I had a stepmom, and they warned me to stay away from her, because all stepmoms were awful. The loudest was my best friend and neighbor, Sonia. She was always saying my new stepmom was a weirdo, and I shouldn't trust her. One time, Linda packed a huge lunchbox for me, and when I opened it at school, the smell was fantastic. But for some reason, Sonia pinched her nose. Yuck! Jasper, what is this? It's some pasta Linda made for me. I think I'll try it. I wouldn't eat that if I were you. My mom said she's evil, and she married your dad for money. And now she's just trying to win you over. She isn't your real mom, Jasper. Don't be such a dodo and just dump that in the garbage. I felt bad about throwing away food, so I ended up giving it to a homeless person on my way home. And when I got back, the first question Linda asked me was how I liked my lunch. Look, you're not my mom, so you can stop acting like it. I know you're up to no good. You're a stepmom. All stepmoms are bad. She looked hurt hearing my words, but then to my surprise, she suddenly started to smile. Yup, I'm up to no good. Wanna know what I plan to do? I will love you so much that you'll be telling everyone soon that I'm the best mom in the world. Saying that, she ran after me to give me one of her signature tight hugs, but I ran out into the garden and slipped straight into some mud, and Linda came crashing right behind me. We stared at each other for a few seconds, and then suddenly she grabbed some mud and threw it right in my face. She burst out laughing, and so did I. And we were suddenly in the middle of a mud fight. She seemed to enjoy it like a kid, and didn't care one bit about how dirty we both got. Linda really didn't seem evil to me like everyone said, just a fun-loving person who genuinely cared about me. That night, I let her tuck me in bed, and told her I'd include her in my nighttime prayers. Oh, Jasper, you're such a kind soul. Please don't ever change, and always protect your good heart. I will always love you, and hope you can love me one day too, as your mom. I think I already do. I love you, Mom. I love you too, son. After that day, Mom and I were a team. I loved her so much, and she adored me. But Sonia always hated her, and she got even meaner after her parents got divorced. I was sorry she was unhappy, but I didn't let her bitter words affect my relationship with Mom. Things were great until I turned 14, and Mom and Dad announced that they were having a baby. A baby? Why? Mom was so excited about it, but I was afraid that the love she had for me would be divided. But I didn't want her to think I wasn't happy for her, so I organized a huge baby shower. When she got home that day from shopping, she was ecstatic. Oh my God, Jasper, honey, this is beautiful. I love it. The party was awesome, and everyone seemed to be having a great time. But when I went outside by the pool to look for Sonia, I overheard some woman from our neighborhood gossiping about Mom. Gosh, that poor stupid boy. She's really got Jasper wrapped around her fingers. Of course, she's gonna take all his money one day. Yeah, Sonia's always telling me about how crazy Jasper is about his stepmom. He doesn't know the truth, I guess. That woman was some waitress who trapped his poor father. Such a gold digger. I felt my blood boil with rage. But before I could yell at them, someone grabbed my hand and pulled me away. It was Mom, and she heard all those awful things those women had to say about her too. Don't say anything. Please, it'll only cause a scene, and you know how much your dad hates it. But how dare they say those things about you while standing in your house? It's not worth it, Jasper. Saying that, Mom went back inside. And then I accidentally bumped into Sonia's mom and made her entire gossiping gang fall into the pool. It was hilarious. Their makeup was running down their faces, and Sonia's mom's wig was floating around the pool as she shrieked and went after it. Suddenly, Sonia came up to me and pushed my shoulder. Hey, I saw that! You pushed my mom in on purpose! Why would you do that? Because your mom deserves it. And not just her, but you too. Ever since my mom came, you've had nothing but awful things to say about her. I'm not interested in listening anymore. Anyone who has something bad to say about my mom, get out now. The party was soon over as the guests left grumbling, and Dad looked pissed. But instead of yelling at me, he directed all his anger at Mom. You did this. My son used to be a well-behaved boy, and you spoiled him. But what else should I have expected from a low-class woman like you? Low class? Who do you think you're calling low class? That night, Dad and I had a huge fight, and things were never the same between us. But I forgot everything when my baby sister Indigo was born. I had never seen a human as tiny as her. It was love at first sight. I was always by Mom's side to take care of her. But after Indigo's birth, Dad seemed to be even busier. He'd be away from home for weeks. One day, while I was scrolling Facebook, I came across Sonia's post. She was posting vlogs while vacationing in the Bahamas. And suddenly, I saw someone in the background that made me gasp. It was Dad, kissing Sonia's mom. I felt stunned and angry. I ran to tell Mom, who then told me that she had already known for months. You knew, Mom? Why didn't you tell me? And how could you stay with him? He's a cheater. If I leave him, where will I go? It's not just Indigo I have to think about. You're my son, Jasper. I can't bear to lose you. Your dad already blames me for ruining your relationship with him, and he won't let me see you if I leave. No one can keep me away from you, Mom. When Dad returned a week later, he was in a bad mood as usual. And the moment he saw Indigo crying, he started yelling. Make her stop. Her crying gives me a headache. Just take her away from me. And that made me see red. She's your daughter. You never wanted anything to do with me. And now you don't want anything to do with her too? And don't yell at Mom. If you keep behaving like this, Dad, you'll end up all alone. Oh, I don't think so. Why? Because you're with Sonia's mom now? Yeah, we know about that. She's awful, and you deserve her. How dare you talk to me like that? And because of this woman, you love her so much? Fine. Why don't you leave with her? All of you, get out! For the first time, Mom yelled back at Dad, and soon after, we packed our bags and left with Indigo. Mom filed for a divorce and rented a tiny apartment with some of the savings she had. Don't worry, we'll get through this. Yeah, Mom, I know we will. Mom started working double shifts as a waitress, but since she was an amazing cook, she soon opened a small home-based food business. And within a few months, we were even able to buy a food truck. While Mom was busy working, I took care of Indigo. She was a naughty one. Come find me, Jasper. Oh, where's Indigo? Is she under the bed? Or behind the curtain? Or here? Got you! With her lovely brown eyes and black hair like Mom's, she looked like a doll. She was my sunshine. Things were good, and Mom even saved money to put me in college. But one day, I was taking a class when I got a call that shook my world. Indigo was gone. Mom had last seen her playing in the backyard, and now she was missing. She was right here, and then she wasn't. Oh, Jasper, I have to find my baby. We'll find her, Mom. I promise. I will look everywhere till I find her. And I really did. I searched for my sister day and night. Those were the toughest times of my life. I even called Dad for help, but he just hung up on me. For years, I looked for Indigo everywhere. The police also helped us, but we never found her. Sometime later, Mom had a fall in the kitchen one day, and she was unable to walk for a few months. So by the time I was 20, I was working as an Uber driver and also studying in a night college, while taking care of Mom as she slowly got her strength back. One night when I got home from work, I heard something I hadn't heard in years. Mom's laughter. I tiptoed to the kitchen and found her there with her physical therapist. She'd been working really hard the past few months. He seemed to like her, and I guess she liked him too. Oh, you're home, Jasper. I felt well enough to cook today, and I made your favorite pasta. Wow, thank you, Mom. I'm so glad you're feeling better. But don't tire yourself out. Things were good, except for the fact that Indigo wasn't in our lives. One day, I was driving a customer when he noticed a picture I always kept on my dashboard. It was Indigo's. He asked me about it, and when I told him she was my sister, the man looked shocked. And what he told me next took my breath away. He knew where Indigo was, but he wasn't 100% sure. I listened in shock as the man explained that he found a little girl on a bus years ago, looking completely lost. He and his wife had tried looking for her family, but they had no luck. They adopted her. I couldn't stop crying as he told me everything. I always knew I'd find her one day. The very next day, I was outside a big house with Mom. Whose house is this, Jasper? Why are we here? And I can't climb all these stairs. You'll see. Come, I'll help you. I lifted Mom in my arms and carried her up the stairs. She looked really confused as we walked inside. But then, she froze. Standing before us was a little girl with lovely brown eyes and long black hair. Mom held on to me for support as she started to cry. Oh my God, Jasper, can it be? Is this really her? Mom sobbed as she ran to Indigo and hugged her tight. I wrapped my arms around them both as we all cried. I always knew I'd find you, Indigo. I never gave up hope. I missed you so much. I love you a lot. With Indigo back in our lives, our family was complete, and life was perfect.
Hi, my name is Pedro, and I'm from Brazil. Please like and subscribe to MSA. Even though my parents were poor, I always had big dreams as a kid. When I was 8, my best friend Maria and I used to sit at the bus stop on the weekends and would admire all the fancy cars that would drive past. Wow, did you see that BMW? I want one like that when I grow up.
I believe you'll drive a car like that one day, Pedro. Remember what our teacher said. If you believe it, you will have it.
Maria also came from a poor family like me, and I cared about her a lot. Once when we were in the 8th grade, she couldn't bring her lunch for the whole week because her parents were so broke. And even though she came up with all sorts of excuses not to take my lunch, I wasn't going to leave my friend to starve.
Pedro, I'm not that hungry. Please, I don't want to take your lunch.
You know you don't have to have pride with me. Come on, let's share.
Okay, but next week is my turn to share with you.
But when next week came, Maria had more than enough to share with me since her dad got a big job in the city.
I got us candy bars today.
Wow, thank you. I'm really happy that your family's doing well.
Yeah, and there's something else I need to tell you.
She looked a little sad, and then I felt sad when she told me.
We won't be living in the same place anymore. We're moving to the city, and I won't be in this school.
I was happy for Maria because she was going to have a better life, but I was sad since she was my best friend. We promised to write to each other every month, but as time went by, she stopped writing, but I didn't. I started focusing a lot on my studies when Maria left and became the top student in my school. When I was in 10th grade, I got selected to participate in a national math tournament. When I was at the tournament, I was so happy when I saw Maria. She was also selected from her school. Maria? She looked so beautiful now. Her eyelashes even looked longer than a normal person's. Maria looked at me like she didn't even know me, or maybe it was because I also looked different. It's me, Pedro.
Oh, hi. It's been a while.
She looked down at my shoes and made a face of disgust.
I'm guessing you're still stuck at the poor people's location?
If that's what you call it.
Okay. I have to go. My friends are waiting.
That was not the Maria I knew, but I didn't let that distract me during the tournament. I beat all the kids, even the rich ones from Maria's school.
Well done, Pedro.
I was surprised that she even congratulated me after the way she looked at me. Thanks, Maria, and it was nice seeing you again. As I walked to the hallway, a tall man approached me. He was the principal of the most expensive school in the city. It was the same school Maria went to. Well done on your achievement today. I would love to have a student like you at my school. Thanks, sir, but I don't think my parents can afford your school for now. You would definitely qualify for a scholarship, and I could help you with that. When I told my parents about the offer I got from the principal, they were so happy. Dad immediately spoke to one of his friends who lived closer to the school to accommodate me, and he gladly accepted. After a month, I moved into Dad's friend's house. He had a daughter who was my age, Isabella, and she was on another level of always being happy.
I've always been an only child in this massive house. It's just me and my father. I'm so glad to finally have someone to talk to. Come on, I want to show you our swimming pool. I've won 5 gold medals because I practice every day.
Thanks, but swimming is not my thing.
What? Swimming should be everybody's thing. What would you do if the world comes to an end and the entire earth gets flooded? It'd have to be everybody's thing then. I'll teach you. Let's go.
Isabella was so persistent about everything. I did everything she asked me to do since her father was super kind to me. She never mentioned her mom, and I didn't want to intrude. When Isabella and I entered the school gates together, all eyes were on us, and I didn't understand why.
Oh my gosh, everyone thinks I'm dating the new hot guy.
Which new hot guy?
You silly. You're really cute. Don't you know that?
I blushed when she said that because I never really paid attention to how I looked since I focused so much on getting high grades. And then as we walked into our next class, all the girls started tapping the seat next to them.
Hey, new guy, you could sit next to me. Oh no, you should really sit next to me. I have all the answers to everything.
Isabella suddenly hid behind me when she saw Maria walk in, and then she took my hand.
He'll sit next to me. We come from way back. Isn't that so, Pedro?
I saw Maria glare at Isabella sternly, and she quickly ran to her seat and didn't look at me for the rest of the day. Maria pulled me along with her everywhere in school, and because I missed her so much, I stuck with her.
I'm so happy that you're in my school, Pedro, but we gotta get you some new shoes, okay?
But these are my favorite shoes, Maria.
I know, but change is good sometimes. Look at me. I live a fabulous life, which starts with how we look.
Isabella walked past me and Maria like she didn't even know me, and when I saw her after school to find out what was up, she acted like everything was normal. Hey, you suddenly avoided me? What happened?
Nothing. I just wanted to give you and Maria your space. She seems to really like you.
Yeah, we're old friends. Are you afraid of Maria?
No. She's just this popular girl who gets everything she wants, and I don't have any trouble at school, so we could just be friends at my house.
Okay, if that's what you want. The next day at school, Maria immediately approached me and took me to a quiet place, and then she took a new pair of sneakers from her bag for me. I felt very uncomfortable taking them. Maria, I told you I don't need new shoes.
Pedro, it's rude not to take a gift. You know that. Remember that time you made me share your lunch and I took it?
Yeah, but I was
Take my gift, Pedro. Please.
I looked at her eyes, and she looked like she was about to cry, so I took the shoes. But it didn't stop there. Maria changed my whole look, and I kinda liked it, but hanging out with her and her friends felt awkward. Like this one time when we were in 12th grade, they invited me to a beach party, and when I decided to bring Isabella along, Maria acted like she owned me.
Pedro, can I speak to you alone, please?
She seemed angry, and I left Isabella waiting for me.
Why did you bring her to a party that I invited only you to?
I live in her house, and she's my friend, so I thought it'd be okay.
Well, it's not okay, and I'm not happy. You were my friend first. In fact, I think I like you more than a friend now.
Maria suddenly kissed me, which caught me off guard. Before I could react, my phone rang, and it was my dad. Sorry, I have to take this. My dad called to tell me that in a month's time, they would be losing the house because he lost his job. Maria could see that I wasn't okay, and because I was so worried, I ended up telling her everything.
So you're going to be homeless?
No, I won't allow that to happen.
Well, I don't know how you will do anything since you're still in school. But if you send Isabella back home and tell her that she's a loser, then I'll speak to my dad to help your family.
What? I can't do that. Isabella's family is helping me, and she's a good person.
She's a freak, Pedro, and you're hot and smart. And I want you all to myself.
I was so turned off with Maria. She wanted me to hurt another person for no reason, and I just couldn't do it. I went back home with Isabella, and she was happy to get out of the party because it wasn't her vibe either.
Maybe we can go get some ice cream?
Yeah, let's do that.
What did Queen Maria say? You looked so unhappy after you spoke to her.
Don't worry about it. I don't think I'll be hanging around her anymore. After our fun ice cream date, I started growing really fond of Isabella. She was sweet and accepted me for who I am. She was still very hyper about many things, but I started loving that about her. And then, after the weekend when I went back to school, everyone looked at me differently. Even the girls who dropped after me now looked at me like some poor, pathetic boy.
I can't have a homeless boy in our school.
I heard one of Maria's friends as she walked past me, and then I spotted Maria talking to a group of kids. I stood behind her. She was talking about me.
Pedro is a total fake. I had to buy him clothes and shoes because his family is going to be homeless soon. Wow. But how can someone so hot be so poor?
Maria, how could you do this?
Oh, speak of the poor devil.
She looked at me coldly, and then I took off the shoes she bought me and threw them in her face. Congratulations, Maria. Money has turned you into a real witch. I walked away from her, and Isabella ran after me.
Pedro, wait! Don't throw your education away because of her. Maria did something really humiliating to me once before, and that's why I stay away from her and whatever she wants.
What did she do to you, Isabella? Isabella started crying, and I hugged her. Then, she told me that she was the popular girl at school once before, and Maria was her best friend until she told everyone her big secret.
Maria kept asking about my mom, and then I told her something my family never shared with anyone. My mom is in a mental institute. Maria told everyone at school, and from that day, everyone called me a mental case.
Oh, Isabella, why didn't you tell me this before?
Because I didn't want you to think that I was a mad person. I'm not my mother. I'm me.
After what Isabella told me, I wanted nothing more to do with Maria. So I completed my last year of high school with Isabella by my side, and her dad also helped my parents not lose the house. Thank you so much for all that you did for my family. I hope to pay you back one day, sir. You have a bright future ahead of you, Pedro, and it was a pleasure having you in my house.
I'm going to miss you so much.
I got a scholarship to study medicine in one of the most prestigious universities abroad. And my school helped my parents pay for my flight ticket since I was the best student they ever had. I worked hard in university and became one of the best heart doctors in the world. When I went back to Brazil to visit my parents, I also paid a visit to Isabella and her father.
Pedro, I'm so glad to see you.
Isabella looked emotional. What's wrong?
My dad is in the hospital. It's his heart.
I spoke to the head of the hospital that Isabella's father was in, and I was ready to do anything to save him. While I was at the hospital, one of the nurses suddenly approached me.
Pedro?
I couldn't recognize her since she had her hair covered up, and when I looked closer, it was Maria. Hello, Maria.
Wow, you're a doctor now.
Yes, and I am a very busy person, so please excuse me. I walked past her, and I could feel her eyes still on me, but she was someone I forgot about a long time ago. After my successful operation on Isabella's father, he couldn't stop thanking me, and I was happy that I was able to do something good for him and Isabella.
Pedro, you are like my angel. You always come into my life at just the right time. When I was lonely back at high school, you filled up my life, and today, you saved my father.
I hugged Isabella, and then suddenly Maria tapped my shoulder. What can I do for you, Maria?
I just wanted to say I'm sorry to both of you.
She looked really sincere, so Isabella and I forgave her. She asked if we could have dinner together. I looked at Isabella and she nodded, so we hung out together. As we sat in a restaurant, we actually enjoyed ourselves. And when Isabella excused herself to go to the bathroom, Maria held my hand.
I still love you, Pedro. I don't know what came over me in high school, but I've changed now.
I slowly pulled my hand away from her. I'm sorry, Maria, but I'm in love with Isabella, and that's why I came back to Brazil. Maria understood and then got up and left.
Where's Maria?
She's gone, so it's just the two of us. I took Isabella's hand, looked into her eyes, and told her how I felt. Isabella, will you go out with me on a real date? She smiled.
So, I guess I did get the hottest guy in school after all.
She always knew how to make me blush. Never let your current situation determine your future. When life throws you lemons, make sweet lemonade.
Hi, I'm Ethan from Canada. Please, like and subscribe. Ever since I could remember, I lived with my uncle, who loved me like I was his own son. And I adored him too. He owned an auto company, and when I was 5, he took me to a showroom one day and showed me all the beautiful cars he owned. Can I drive this one, Uncle? One day you will, son, as soon as you're tall enough. I wanted to make my uncle proud of me, so I studied hard and always got straight A's. Uncle would be over the moon seeing my results, and he'd tell me that I'd take over his business one day. I was thrilled to hear that, because I loved cars. But suddenly, everything changed in the 5th grade. My uncle introduced me to Giselle, a tall woman with a really long nose.
Aw, you must be the nephew. So cute.
She pinched my cheeks, and when my uncle wasn't looking, she smirked at me. I didn't like her at all, but my uncle seemed to love her, because 2 months later, he married her. Giselle had a son my age, Jeremy, and he was the slowest boy I'd ever met. On his first day of school, Uncle and I were waiting for him to finish eating his cereal, and he took a minute to chew each Fruit Loop. We're gonna be late, can't you chew any faster? He then took the bowl and tried to drink down his cereal, but ended up messing his clothes.
Ethan, look what you made Jeremy do. Now you'll both be so late for school.
How is it my fault? Well, I can't wait any longer, so you take them to school, Giselle. I got to school 2 hours late that day. To make things worse, Jeremy was a real embarrassment. He sat in class with snot running down his nose, and didn't even realize it till one of the mean boys in class saw him. Look everyone, the new guy has some disgusting goo on his face. The entire class burst out laughing, and then Jessica, one of the prettiest and richest girls in the school, handed Jeremy a tissue and frowned at the mean boy.
Why do you always have to be so rude? Leave the poor guy alone.
Later that day, I caught up with Jessica and thanked her for standing up for Jeremy.
I just don't understand mean people. It's so much easier to be kind.
Well, it's not easy for everyone. You're just one of the kindest people around.
Aw, thank you, Ethan.
She kissed my cheek and ran off. I liked her ever since we were little kids. So that kiss gave me butterflies in my tummy. As time went by, I found myself taking care of Jeremy like I was his babysitter, because Giselle kept asking me to help him. Like when we were in the 8th grade, Jeremy was failing his subjects miserably, and every day after school I had to tutor him, which wasn't easy. So when you're breaking down a sum, this is how you do it. Instead of listening to me, he'd be playing on his phone. Yeah. Can we please focus on homework right now? Oh yeah. What were you saying? He was a frustrating student, but I kept trying because I kind of felt sorry for him. Without some help, his future was doomed. But even though I made so much effort with Jeremy, Giselle never appreciated it and was always unpleasant with me. Like once at dinner, when I wanted a second helping of food, she looked at me like a witch.
So greedy. You should feel lucky that you're even eating with us at the same table.
What's that supposed to mean?
You'll see one day.
She would speak in such riddles often, but always when Uncle wasn't around. And then one day in the 10th grade, I came home to the worst news ever. Giselle told me that Uncle had been arrested for fraud. I just didn't believe it. My uncle was no criminal. But apparently he'd been stealing money from its biggest investor, and he was sentenced to jail for 10 years. I wanted to see him, but Giselle said only she had visiting rights as his wife. I was devastated, but Giselle seemed over the moon. Just one day after Uncle's sentence, she invited her friends over and stayed up all night, laughing and dancing to loud music. And just 2 days later, I got back from school to find out she had moved all my stuff to the attic. Why did you do this?
That room was just too big for a boy like you. So Jeremy will be moving in there now.
I'm moving my stuff back.
Listen here, you poor rat. I'm in charge now, and what I say goes.
You're gonna pay for this. She laughed out like a witch, and then suddenly slipped and fell down a couple of stairs on her butt. I told you, you'll pay for this. I made myself comfortable in the attic, but as days passed, things got worse for me. I was no longer allowed to eat at the dinner table or watch TV in the lounge. Giselle fired our butler, saying it was too expensive to pay him. So she gave me and Jeremy chores, but I seemed to be the one doing all of them. Jeremy was still a weird guy, but he wasn't evil like his mom. One day, he brought me some dessert to the attic. I'm really sorry about the way my mom treats you. It's okay, bro. I won't live here forever, When I'm done with school, I'll leave and live my life. Giselle even stopped driving me to school, and Jeremy would roll down his car window and watch me walk till I was left far behind. I knew he felt bad, but I understood he wasn't strong enough to stand up for me. One day in 11th grade, I was walking to school when I noticed an old man fixing some broken down cars, and a sign next to him said that he was looking for a part-time assistant. Can I apply for this job? Oh, and what do you know about cars? Quite a lot. My uncle taught me everything. The old man tested me and was quite impressed by my knowledge. He hired me, and I was so happy because, of course, Giselle had stopped my allowance. One afternoon, he sent me to a rich man's house to fix his Ferrari. It was more like a palace. While I was fixing the car, I started getting hot, so I took off my shirt. Moments later, I heard giggling from behind a wall, and I peeked around and found Jessica there. Jessica, you live here?
Yes, this is my house. You fix cars?
She kept looking at my abs, and I could swear she was blushing slightly. Yeah, this is my part-time job.
Cool. You want to take a break and have a soda with me?
Yeah, that would be cool. I couldn't believe that I was at Jessica's house, hanging out with her. I had given up trying to speak with her ages ago because she was always surrounded by the most popular guys in school.
I don't see you much in school these days.
I'm usually at the library studying hard so that I can get a scholarship.
You haven't changed a bit. You're still the same sweet nerd boy.
Nerd boy?
I did say sweet too. Come on, I want to show you something.
She took me to a cottage at the back, which was a nursery for the plants and flowers.
This is what I love doing, being around nature.
Wow, this is amazing. But then suddenly, she screamed and practically jumped into my arms. What is it?
A lizard!
But that's part of nature, isn't it?
I only love plants, not creepy crawlies.
I laughed, picked up the lizard, and made it crawl away in a different direction. When I turned around, she was standing right behind me, and her face was so close to mine. My heart raced as I looked at her lips. But suddenly her dad called for her. As he saw us coming out of the cottage, he looked at me, sternly. I just couldn't stop thinking about Jessica. The next day when I saw her in school, my heart skipped a beat when she smiled at me. But then all of a sudden, Jeremy came up behind me. Hey, why is Jessica looking at you that way? I don't know, maybe she likes me. When I said that, Jeremy's expression changed. Well, that can't be, because I loved her since the day I joined this school. While Jeremy was talking about his feelings, Jessica suddenly approached me and asked if I'd help her with math during recess. I gladly said yes, but Jeremy glared at me like his mother. When I got home that day, Giselle called me to the living room. Her eyes were blazing.
Jeremy tells me you stole his girlfriend.
Who? Jessica? She's never been his girlfriend.
I hear that your father's very rich. You're thinking of getting your hands on that pot of gold, aren't you?
No, Giselle. Not everyone's a gold digger like you.
How dare you talk to me like that? You're grounded, and I forbid you to see this girl. As long as you live under my roof, you'll live by my rules.
This is not your roof. It's my uncle's. The next day, while I was with Jessica at recess, Jeremy came and told me to take off the shirt I was wearing because he'd given it to me and wanted it back now. I told him to buzz off, and then he pounced on me. But I was way stronger than him and pinned him down. Calm down, dude. This is not who you are. You are not a monster like your mother. Maybe I am. And don't talk about my mother that way. I let him go, and he stormed off furiously.
Hey, are you okay?
I leaned forward and kissed her. Now I think I'll be okay. Jessica and I started seeing each other more often, and I didn't care about how Jeremy and his mother treated me. Soon it was the end of 12th grade, and prom was around the corner. I decided to surprise Jessica by turning up at her place with some flowers and asking her out to prom. But when I got there, I was shocked to find her in the living room with her dad, along with Jeremy and Giselle. What are you guys doing here? The question is, boy, what are you doing here? I'm here to ask my girlfriend to prom, sir. Are you sure you're at the right house? Because my daughter just said yes to being Jeremy's fiancé. I couldn't believe my ears. I looked at Jessica, but she just looked back at me with a frozen face. I need to speak to you alone, Jessica.
There's no need, Ethan. You heard what my father said, and I agree. It's a good match. I think you should go now and leave me alone.
And then her dad had guards throw me out of their house. I was utterly heartbroken. She changed her mind about me because I was poor? As I laid awake that night, the attic door creaked open. It was Jeremy. So, how does it feel, Ethan? You always thought you were better than me, right? But look at me now. I'm the master of this house, and I own the heart of the girl you love. Before I could stop myself, I'd flown at Jeremy and punched his face. I obviously couldn't stay there anymore. So I took my savings and my things and left that very night. The old man I worked for let me stay at his garage for a few months, till I got into university on scholarship and left. A year later, as I was walking out of college campus, I was completely shocked to see Uncle standing outside. Oh my God, you're free! I missed you so much, Uncle. How come you never came to visit me, son? Giselle told me that I wasn't allowed. She was lying. I was in jail because of her. She framed me for fraud and had me thrown in jail. But my lawyers had found proof of her guilt, and soon she will be behind bars. And so she was. It was the happiest day of my life when she got arrested, and Jeremy was sent off to live with relatives in another city. My uncle and I moved back to our house, and I continued with my engineering degree. And then one day, as I was fixing a car in Uncle's garage, I turned around to see Jessica walk in. Oh, it's you. Can I help you with anything?
Ethan, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're sorry now, because I'm rich.
No, it's not like that. Giselle threatened to do something bad to you if I didn't break up with you. I never meant to be with Jeremy, but I had to do something to drive you away from here.
What? Why didn't you just tell me this?
I was scared. For you.
She started crying, and I wrapped my arms around her and told her it was all over.
So do you think you can give me another chance?
Of course. I've loved you since forever, Jessica. You're the best person I know.
On March 14th, 1879, an unusual baby was born to a family in Ulm, Germany. For starters, he had an unusually big head. It's a little larger than normal, but he looks fine to me.
Are you blind? It's huge. Oh, what if he's broken? What if he's never able to speak or think any intelligent thoughts?
The baby's mom really couldn't have been more wrong. Hi, I'm Albert Einstein, and this is my story. Ever since I could remember, my parents told me I was, well, different. For starters, I hated playing with other kids and always preferred to be alone. I also didn't speak until I was 4 years old. Then when I did speak, people would act as if I'd said something strange. Like one time, Mom invited her friend over for lunch and I had an important question for her. Your arms are so thin, your skin is almost see-through, but for some reason I can't see your bones, only the color of your veins.
Get your hands off me! Does your son have no manners?
Wait, I'm just curious. I wonder what would happen if I lit a candle and shone it close to you. Do you think I'd see anything beneath your skin?
You're not making any sense, Albert, and you're being rude. Sometimes I worry there's something wrong with him.
Mom sent me to my room then, and I didn't understand what I did wrong. I just asked a question. And as time passed, I really started getting into trouble. One day, when I was 15, I was in class and I was bored to death. And when my teacher, Mr. Windsor, asked us to work in pairs, I just snapped. So we have to solve. I'm not doing this. School is dumb and I'm not letting any teacher tell me what to do. But we have to do what the teacher says. No, I've got a better idea. I convinced the guy to steal Mr. Windsor's notes and bag when he wasn't looking and sneaked out of the classroom. We ran away from school to a nearby river where I tossed my teacher's notes. This'll teach him not to make us memorize stuff until our brain hurts. Throwing those notes away felt so freeing, but my happiness didn't last for long. Mom, Dad, our principal, and the police found us, and we were toast. Albert's behavior is completely unacceptable. This has gone on too long. He pulls pranks on teachers, never pays attention in class, and now he's stealing. This is the last straw, young man. I got suspended for a week, but when I got back to school, things took a wild turn. I was sitting in class when Mr. Windsor called to the chalkboard to solve a math problem. All right, Mr. Einstein, I have an equation that even you can't mess up. All you have to do is figure out. The answer is 9.27001 over 16. Mr. Windsor looked like he was having a stroke, and all the kids started whispering. God, what had I done now? Mr. Windsor grabbed his calculator and asked me again what the answer was and how I'd gotten it because, well, it was correct. I don't know, it just popped into my head. Mr. Windsor pulled me aside after class. I completely misjudged you. Young man, you have a gifted mind. This makes so much sense. All of this is too easy for you. You're probably bored to death. I'll move you up to an advanced class and we'll give you more difficult tests. You must develop this talent. Suddenly, something inside me burst. No, I don't want to do any of that. I can't take this anymore. I know you mean well, but I can't go on like this. I quit school. I'll teach myself all this stuff. That week, I dropped out of school and my parents were horrified. I was sure they thought I was a lost cause or crazy or both. So when I was 17, I left home and went straight to university for physics. It was time to put myself and my dreams first, no matter what anyone thought. On my first day, I was walking down the hallway when I ran into a group of guys pointing and laughing at something. Hey, what's going on? See that girl over there? She's in our class. I didn't know our university allowed chicks to even walk in here. Hey, princess, why don't you go back home to cook me dinner? I'll have potatoes with extra sausage. What a jerk. Before the boy could finish, I walked over to the girl. I know those guys are acting like pigs, but at the end of the day, they don't matter. When you look at the universe, you realize how small and unimportant each one of us is. This book talks about how the earth is like the size of a... Suddenly, the girl smacked the book out of my hand.
You have no idea what I'm going through. As if some dumb book will make me feel better about the fact that everyone's treating me like a freak.
The girl stormed off and I felt bad. I found later that her name was Mileva, and the boys just wouldn't leave her alone. One morning, I saw Mileva studying in the library, and for some reason, I felt like sitting next to her. Need any help with your schoolwork?
Ugh, you again? You're everywhere. You're not following me, are you?
No, but for some reason, we keep running into each other. I also think we're a lot alike. People treat me like I'm a weirdo too, but I'm actually pretty cool and really smart.
And modest. If you're so smart, how come I'm ahead of you on the honors roll?
What was she talking about? I'd been number 1 in our class all semester, but Mileva led me to the school bulletin board, and she was the top of our class instead of me.
Congratulations, genius. You finally found someone smarter than you.
Mileva smirked at me and walked off, and I couldn't help feeling annoyed. But after that day, something changed between us. She invited me to do homework with her every day after school, and even asked our professor if we could be lab partners. She still teased me non-stop, but I just knew she didn't hate me as much as she pretended. Then one day, I got a letter from Dad saying Mom was sick and asked me to come home as soon as possible. And to my shock, Mileva said she'd come with me.
I know we have finals, but you shouldn't have to deal with this alone. I'll get on the next train with you.
Mileva hugged me, and I felt my heart race. When I arrived home, I went straight up to Mom's room and she was happy to see me, especially with a girl. But Dad was furious. Albert, this is a family matter. Why did you bring this strange girl to the house all of a sudden? Dad, you don't have to be rude. She just came along for support. Well, whoever you are, you're wasting your time on my son because he's a nutcase who only ever thinks of himself. Wow. Now I remember why leaving home was the best decision ever. Tears stung my eyes as I stomped out of the room into the yard. Mileva followed me.
Albert, this was my fault. I shouldn't have invited myself to come with you. I just wanted to be there for you. I never wanted to cause any problems.
Are you kidding? You've been amazing. It's my dad who's acting like a jerk. But he is right about one thing. I do have issues, and you shouldn't waste your time on me.
Listen, I know I give you a tough time, but the truth is, you're the most brilliant and interesting guy I've ever met, and I want to take a chance on you.
Suddenly, Mileva leaned in and kissed me, and it felt like all the light in the universe filled in the space between us. After that, Mileva and I started dating, and I was on cloud 9 for the next 10 months. Then one morning, our professor called us to his desk, but Mileva wasn't in class. I didn't know why she hadn't come that day. Well, it's a shame she's not here. I have a rare opportunity. It's a research position at one of the most prestigious programs in the world, but only one of you can go. You both are equally gifted students, so I thought I should tell you both and you can decide between yourselves. I was speechless. What was I supposed to do? I told the professor I talked to Mileva, but he needed an answer right away. And so I decided to take the position. After school, I went over to Mileva's house with knots in my stomach. It turned out she was sick with a cold, and when I told her what happened, she was dead silent.
And you took the position? Just like that?
Mileva, I'm so sorry. I know a position like this would have been your dream too, but I wasn't given a chance to talk to you. I didn't have time.
Don't worry about it, Albert. I understand.
Mileva pulled me close, even though she was sick. We got married a year later and had children. We were happy, and I was thriving at my new research position. writing theses and making all kinds of discoveries in theoretical physics. But something had changed in my relationship with Maleva. There was something wrong between us, and I didn't know how to go about it. One night, I came home from work when I saw Maleva looking at me furious.
Where have you been, Albert?
I was at the university. I had to work an hour late. I'm sorry.
Well, you're never home, and I'm sick of it. You're off being a big-shot scientist, while I'm over here changing diapers.
I'm also off bringing home money for our family, and I always help you with everything when I get home. Maleva, do you want me to quit my job? What can I do differently? Maleva just fell silent. It was so obvious she was jealous of my success, and I didn't know how to help her. I tried taking her to the lab with me and watching the kids more, and even tried including Maleva in my research. But one day, Maleva dropped a bombshell on me.
I love you, Albert, but I can't do this. I'm not happy with you anymore. I want a divorce.
But why? Are you just going to resent me forever? I thought you wanted me to follow my dreams, and I'm not stopping you from following yours.
You stopped me the moment you took that job opportunity in university. I know it's in the past, and I don't want to keep resenting you. I want to remember why I fell in love with you, and always see you that way. You're brilliant, Albert, and we shouldn't hold each other back anymore.
I pulled Maleva close as tears filled my eyes. That following month, we filed for divorce, and just like that, everything changed, and I didn't know what would happen next. One night, I was on the train and trying to fall asleep, but this girl kept walking up and down the aisles and singing loudly while she tossed a ball up and down. Hey, kid, can you quiet down? Some of us are trying to sleep.
You're not my dad, so you can't tell me what to do.
Well, lucky for the both of us, this is my stop. I stormed off the train, grateful to get away from that brat. But as the train rode away, I saw something strange. The girl was still tossing the ball up and down, but it looked like it was moving faster and faster. And suddenly, the wheels in my mind were racing like crazy. Time moved faster when I was off the train. That was why the ball looked like it was moving slower when I was on the train. The next few months, I continued doing research, and to my amazement, my theory of relativity was proved correct. I won the Nobel Prize for Physics that year, and after that, it seemed like everyone wanted to hear what I had to say. How does it feel to make this groundbreaking discovery, Mr. Einstein? This is a historic moment, and you're a legend. I was on the front cover of every newspaper that week, and I folded a picture and sent it in an envelope to someone special, along with a letter. Dear Maleva, I finally did it. I found answers to all those questions I've been asking myself all these years about time and space and the universe. I want you to know that I couldn't have done it without you. I'm in a good place now. I'm married to an amazing woman and, well, I had my dreams come true. Even though things didn't work out between us, I never look back at the time we had with regret. I hope you're happier now. I hope you're still curious about the world and that you learn something new about it each day. Remember me like this always, and thank you for believing in me. Yours truly, Albert Einstein.
Mom was 20 years old when she got pregnant with me. Her boyfriend wasn't too happy about it.
Forget it. I'm out. I'm not ready to have a kid right now.
But Mom was determined to raise me no matter what. Don't worry, little guy. We're gonna be just fine. It's gonna be us against the world. Hey friends, my name's Evan, and I'm from Michigan. Ever since I can remember, Mom and I had been best friends. We did everything together. Okay, Mommy, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 1/4 cup of milk. Wow, aren't you a clever one? It was true. I was pretty advanced for my age. By the time I was 10, I had read all the books in my grandpa's library. I was also obsessed with taking things apart and putting them back together. Mom and I did all sorts of building projects together. On the count of 3, are you ready? I was born ready. 1, 2, 3. Mom, look! Aerodynamics are amazing! Okay, genius. You should say your mom is amazing. One day when I was in 8th grade, I was picking up groceries for Mom when I heard yelling. Right by the street, a big guy was shouting at some girl around my age and following her too.
Hey, quit ignoring me.
Leave me alone, you jerk! I wasn't going to let anyone bully that girl on my watch. Without thinking, I walked over and punched that guy right in the nose. He covered his face and started to cry in pain. The girl grabbed my arm. Run! I ran with the girl 2 blocks straight. We were super out of breath. Who was that guy? Just a bully in the neighborhood. He's been picking on me ever since I grabbed $5 out of his pocket, which he took from another kid. Man, I'm glad I never ran into him. He'll probably be after you now that you punched him. But don't worry, I'll protect you. It turned out, the girl's name was Natalie, and she had just moved into my neighborhood. We started hanging out all the time. Natalie was pretty different from me. She was loud and wild and obsessed with sports. She was also friends with everyone in our neighborhood. Wow, Natalie, I never talked to any of these people. That's because you spend all day reading, silly. You should come to parties and hang out with me. Get out of your shell. Mom was over the moon that I had a friend like Natalie. A friend like that is a keeper, honey. I've always wanted you to go out and have a little fun. Stop studying so hard. Mom was right. Natalie was a keeper. As time passed, our friendship only grew stronger. People even thought we were dating, which always made us laugh. Date him? He's gross. Date her? She's so annoying. In 10th grade, Natalie transferred to my school, and we were in the same class. One day, Natalie and I walked into science class when I saw this really pretty girl sitting by my desk. She was also dressed in designer clothes. Whoa, who's that? That's Scarlet, the new girl. She's crazy rich. And look at her. She's a work of art, dude. I wanted an excuse to talk to Scarlet. And then, something awesome happened. We were assigned as lab partners. But when we were doing our experiment, Scarlet suddenly took off her goggles. I can't do this. I'm scared of getting burned. It's okay. I'm here. I'm going to spill it. Scarlet pulled her hand away from me, and our experiment spilled all over our desk. The teacher rang the emergency alarm and started yelling at Scarlet. How could you be so careless? You put all the students in danger. You're banned from doing lab work. All the kids were staring at Scarlet and whispering. Scarlet's gorgeous hazel eyes filled with tears. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. Those science experiments make me so nervous. It's okay. They make me nervous too. And I love science. My best friend never gets nervous though. She's not afraid of anything. Wow, your best friend's lucky. I was, wondering, do you want to hang out tomorrow? Like, for a date, maybe? Yeah, I'd love that. I was on cloud 9. Was I really going on a date with the school's hottest girl? Yes, I was. But when I told Natalie that Scarlet had asked me out, she just laughed. Come on, Evan. She's the prettiest girl in school. Don't get your hopes up too high. But my date with Scarlet was epic. She took me to this fancy ice cream parlor and had us share the biggest sundae I'd ever seen. The next day, Scarlet came to where Natalie and I were sitting. Hey, I brought you a brownie. A brownie? You're awesome. Yeah, that's, super nice. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have gotten one for you. It's fine. I don't like brownies anyway. Lunch with the three of us was super awkward. Scarlet kept bringing up our date from the other night, and I could tell Natalie felt totally left out. I was hoping Scarlet and Natalie would become best friends in no time. Scarlet and I were officially going out now, and we hung out almost every day. But Natalie and I didn't see each other as much anymore. It felt like she was just coming up with excuses not to hang out with us. You're not jealous of Scarlet, right? Evan, don't be silly. I'm happy you have a girlfriend, but I didn't just want Natalie to be happy for me. I wanted her to be friends with Scarlet and see how awesome she was. So when my birthday came around, I decided I'd have a get-together with just the three of us. Mom cooked a huge dinner, and Natalie helped me set up Netflix. But Scarlet didn't arrive. Sweetie, maybe check if everything's okay with her. Just then, I got a text from Scarlet that read, "Come to this address. Quick! It's an emergency." Oh man, was Scarlet in danger? Guys, I gotta see if Scarlet's okay. But when I arrived at the location, Scarlet was waiting for me, wearing high heels and a red dress. It turned out her family had rented out a fancy restaurant for the whole night. It even had a water fountain and a dance floor. Suddenly, a man in a suit came up to shake my hand. "You must be Evan. Scarlet's always talking about you. Happy birthday, son." I was too shocked to even speak. What is all this? Why didn't you just come to my place? Because, babe, I wanted to surprise you. Isn't this amazing? It was amazing. And Scarlet looks so beautiful in her red dress. I can't believe you did this for me. We have to dance together. No, I'm too embarrassed. But I dragged Scarlet onto the dance floor. and we slow danced together. I'd completely forgotten about the dinner at home. That was until I felt someone grab my shoulder. It was Natalie. You jerk! Natalie, wait! How did you even know where I was? Your mom and I checked your texts on your computer, because we were worried about you. Natalie, relax. I threw my boyfriend a surprise party. Big deal. Your poor mom's been slaving away all day to make your birthday special, and here you are dancing with this witch. Don't let her manipulate you. She's just a spoiled daddy's girl. Before Scarlet or I could answer, Natalie grabbed a chunk of cake and rubbed it on Scarlet's dress. Scarlet started to cry. Natalie! Oh my god, my favorite dress! Why are you so mean? Happy birthday, best friend. Natalie stormed out of the restaurant. I couldn't believe her. Why would she do something like that? I apologized to Mom as soon as I got home. I told her everything that happened with Scarlet and Natalie. Sweetie, I don't know about Scarlet. What do you mean? Natalie's the one who behaved so poorly. She was hurt, that's all. I'm worried Scarlet's driving you and Natalie apart. Mom, I'm allowed to have girls in my life other than Natalie. Scarlet's my girlfriend now. She's important too. But the next day at school, something was off. I couldn't find Natalie or Scarlet anywhere. I searched all over school, when suddenly, I heard a bunch of girls squealing by the girls' bathroom. OMG, Scarlet! You are so talented! What was going on? I ran to the girls' bathroom and peeked inside. Scarlet and Natalie were standing by the sinks, while Scarlet was doing Natalie's makeup and hair. They were both laughing like they'd been best friends for years. Wow, what's going on here? Ew, Evan, this is the girls' bathroom. Oh, come on, it's not a big deal. Evan, see how cute I'm making her look? I asked Scarlet to give me a makeover. I thought I should start dressing more like a girl. You're perfect the way you are, girl. I'm just making your beauty stand out. Whoa, wait. What about what happened at my birthday party? We made up. I apologized to Scarlet for smearing cake on her dress. And I apologized to Natalie for stealing you on your birthday. Then, I saw Scarlet take out this hair cream product. She started to rub it on Natalie's hair. I use this every day. It makes your hair super soft. Scarlet was right. Natalie looked really different with makeup and her hair done. But suddenly, Natalie grabbed her hair. My scalp's starting to burn. That just means it's working. Give it a few minutes. Oh my god, my hair's falling out. To my horror, Natalie's hair started to fall out in big chunks. She had gone completely bald. What's going on? I use this on my hair every day. All of a sudden, the other girl stared at Natalie and started whispering. Her hair is completely gone. Poor girl. I'd die if that happened to me. Natalie started to cry, and I ran over to hug her, but she pushed me away and turned to Scarlet. You did this on purpose! You're just jealous of me because you want Evan yourself. It wasn't on purpose, I swear. You must have had an allergic reaction. I always use this product. I'll prove it to you. But Natalie ran out of the girls' bathroom sobbing and covering her head. Scarlet, I gotta go talk to her. Of course, and tell her I'm sorry, Evan. It really was an accident. I didn't end up finding Natalie after that. In fact, I didn't see her at all after that. She blocked my number and moved to another neighborhood. I tried to contact her on every social media site possible, but Natalie was just gone from my life. I graduated university at the top of my class, with Scarlet by my side. I ended up developing software apps for a giant IT company. Mom and Scarlet were overjoyed. Oh, Evan, sweetie, I'm so proud of you. I have the smartest boyfriend in the world. I married Scarlet a year later. I finally saved up the money to buy us a gorgeous house. We gave Mom a full tour. I know exactly how I want to decorate this. I'm thinking bold colors, maybe gold and red. That's great, honey. I actually wanted to ask you two something. I see you have a big space and an extra room. I was wondering if I could live with you. I just love you so much and I want to be close. I also don't have a lot of money. Mom, are you kidding? Of course you can live with us. Totally, we'd love to have you. Mom moved in with Scarlet and me the very next week. After 2 years of living together, everything was still going perfectly. One night I came home earlier than usual and didn't see Mom or Scarlet. Instead, I heard yelling coming from the basement. I ran downstairs to see Mom sitting on an air mattress, and she was crying. I told you you're sleeping here from now on. I want to turn your room into an indoor spa. Hey, does someone want to tell me what's going on here? Scarlet turned around, and when she saw me, she turned bright red. Oh, babe, you're home. Your mom and I were just chatting. No big deal. Yeah, honey, no big deal. Mom, tell me what's going on now. I saw Scarlet screaming at you. Tell me what's happening. It's It's nothing. Scarlet just wants me to sleep here for a while. She wants to turn my bedroom into a spa. I don't mind. What? Mom looked scared and kept her head down, while Scarlet looked terrified. Scarlet, have you been mistreating my mom? And since when? No, baby, it's all good. Don't worry yourself, it's just... Mom, I'm talking to her. Scarlet, answer my freaking question. How long have you been mistreating my mom? Scarlet didn't say a word. I kept asking the same question and demanding an answer until Mom said, "Since you got married." I couldn't believe it. How could Scarlet be so terrible? And I didn't even notice. Babe, it's just that I grew up rich. I'm used to having tons of space. And your mom being here is a bit of an inconvenience for me. You know what? You're a bit of an inconvenience for me. I thought we were supposed to care for each other's families like they were our own. But you've treated mine like trash. Scarlet started crying and apologizing. But I stood firm. Mom and I will be staying in a hotel for a few days. I don't even want to be near you. But Mom and I ended up staying in a hotel for more than a few days. 2 weeks went by, and I still didn't talk to Scarlet. One day, I came home from work. When I heard whispering from my mom's room, I opened her door to see her sleeping in bed. A nurse was next to her, saying, "You just need to rest, Auntie. And you should tell Evan about your condition. He should know. He's your son." I recognized that voice immediately. It was Natalie. Natalie, what are you doing here? And what's going on with Mom? I'm your mom's nurse, Evan. She's really sick. I'm gonna be here every day to take care of her. Without another word, Natalie left. I rushed to my mom's bedside. Mom, how long has this been going on? And how long has Natalie been your nurse? I hired a nurse, and it turned out to be Natalie, purely by chance. Honey, I've had this condition since you were in high school. It's gotten worse. I didn't want to worry you. I hugged Mom and started to cry. How could she keep a secret like this from me? For the next week, Natalie came in every day to take care of Mom, but she barely talked to me. It was like we'd never known each other. One day, I picked up the phone and decided to call Scarlet. It's me. My mom's sick. I'm gonna try to find an apartment for the two of us, so I can take care of her. Are you crazy? You shut me out for 2 weeks and now you want to move back in with Mommy? How about you take her to a doctor, like a normal son? How about I end things with you and take care of my family now? You're just too evil. I hung up the phone. That's when I heard a knock at the door. It was Natalie. Hey, I don't think I'll need to come by much longer. Your mom is getting better. Really? Do you mean that? She's had this condition since we were in high school. I found out about it the day of your birthday party. She told me to keep it a secret, but that's why I got so mad at you. Because you were partying and having fun, but I shouldn't have gotten so mad, and I shouldn't have done what I did to Scarlet. Hey, she deserved it. I'm pretty sure she made your hair fall out on purpose, but I'm done with her. I couldn't believe it. Natalie had kept my mom's condition a secret too, only so I wouldn't have to worry. Suddenly, Natalie threw her arms around me and started to cry. I missed you so much, Evan. I missed you too, Natalie. You were my most amazing friend I ever had. I'm so glad I found you again.